Imagine an aircraft so fast that even today it sounds unreal. A jet that could cruise above 80,000 feet, fly faster than a rifle bullet, and fire missiles at enemy bombers while moving at over Mach 3. This was the Lockheed Y-12. Real quick before we dive into this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Only about 9% of my current viewers are subscribed. It helps the channel out, it means the world to me, and we're getting really close to 5,000 subscribers. I really appreciate all the support. You guys are amazing. So the YF-12 was a aircraft that was modeled after the A-12, and obviously, as you guys take a look at it, is the cousin of the SR-71 Blackbird. In the late 1950s and early 1960s, the United States was terrified of one major thing: Soviet nuclear bombers. At the time, the fear was that massive formations of Soviet bombers could fly over the Arctic and attack American cities with nuclear weapons. Originally built for the CIA under the ultra-secret Oxcart program, the A-12 was a single-seat reconnaissance aircraft designed to outrun missiles rather than fight. But the engineers at Skunk Works realized something. If the A-12 could outrun in almost anything in the sky, what if they gave it missiles? That idea became the YF-12. The YF-12 looks similar to the SR-71 Blackbird, but there are some major differences. First, the aircraft had 2 crew members instead of 1, because the second crew member needed to operate the radar and weapon systems. The Hughes and ASG-18 fire control radar was what the YF-12 carried. It was one of the first airborne radars with a true look-down, shoot-down capability, and it was on the cutting edge of technology for the 1960s. The reconnaissance bays from the A-12 were converted into internal missile bays to carry a pretty funny weapon, in my opinion: the Hughes AIM-47 Falcon. What made the AIM-47 Falcon so crazy is its top speed of roughly Mach 4, range of around 100 miles, semi-active radar guidance during the flight, but infrared homing during the final attack phase. The YF-12 usually carried 3 AIM-47 missiles internally, although some concepts discussed larger weapon loads, and obviously you couldn't carry these weapons under the wing. You're trying to fly at Mach 3. The missile itself became the direct ancestor of the AIM-54 Phoenix, and was later used on the F-14 Tomcat. And this is the insane part: the system actually worked. During testing, the YF-12 successfully destroyed targets with the AIM-47. One of the most famous tests happened when a YF-12 flying at over Mach 3 and above 70,000 feet launched an AIM-47 at a QB-47 drone, target drone, flying only a few thousand feet above the ground. The missile successfully hit the target. Think about how difficult that was for technology back in the 1960s. A Mach 3 interceptor high in the stratosphere, hitting a low-flying target drone dozens of miles away. In 1965, the YF-12 set world speed and altitude records. It reached over 2,070 miles per hour and climbed above 80,000 feet. Today, very few aircraft match its performance. Yes, these records were later shattered by the SR-71, but it's still pretty cool to think about. So if the YF-12 was so advanced, why was it cancelled? The answer was money, and changing military strategy. In the mid-1960s, intercontinental ballistic missiles were becoming a bigger nuclear threat than bombers. At the same time, the Vietnam War consuming a massive amounts of defense funding. The YF-12 was incredibly expensive to build and maintain. Its titanium construction, specialized engines, and extreme operating conditions made it difficult to support. The Air Force eventually decided the cost wasn't worth it. Only 3 YF-12s were built. The Interceptor never entered full operational service, but the technology didn't disappear. The radar systems, missile concepts, and high-speed research all influenced later aircraft, and the YF-12 directly helped pave the way for the SR-71 Blackbird. The YF-12, if it were to come to warthunder, would be a very interesting aircraft. This is a Mach 3 aircraft that is capable of flying at very high feet and carrying a pretty advanced air-to-air missile. It would be very similar, in my opinion, to the MiG-25. The MiG-25 is very fast, but it lacks a few things, in my opinion. The MiG-25's maneuverability is terrible. The YF-12 would not necessarily have, air quote, better maneuverability, but I certainly think it would indeed be easier to fly. Also, let's just be honest here: if Russia and the Soviets were able to get the MiG-25 PD, there's little to no reason why the YF-12 isn't an aircraft that could come to the game. This is a platform that had operational missiles, had operational testing, and had variants that did enter full service. The reason it was canceled was due to costs, not that it had any sort of issues. The plane was fully built. It had everything it would need to, have to come to the game. The issue and the reason why I think it wouldn't come to the game would be balancing your issues. Obviously, you can't have a Mach 3 aircraft at a low BR, and you can't really put it too high because of the lack of countermeasures. Also, how good is the AIM-47 really going to be? It's basically like a BVR platform that has to sit at maybe 10.7, 11.0 max. There's a lot of balancing issues when you take an aircraft that has something like speed, like the YF-12, and has something that's pretty good in munitions, like the AIM-47, but lacks things like a gun or lacks things like, countermeasures. Obviously, I think it'd be really cool to just air-quote outrun the missiles like the SR-71, but let's be real here, Gaijin doesn't like fun, so we probably won't see it. Anyways, I want to know what you guys' thoughts are down below in the comments. Do you guys think the YF-12 is a platform we should see come to the game? Do you guys think it's an aircraft that everyone wants? Because, for a brief moment in history, America built a Mach 3 fighter, and it looked like it came from the future. Let me know your thoughts down below, make sure to like button and subscribe. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.